Welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. Now, Rohit recently headed to the Curry Motor Speedway to find out whether the Aprilia RS457 is an out-and-out track machine, or is it just a motorcycle that likes to please everyone with humble power as well as relaxed ergonomics. Check out this review.
Sounds good, doesn't it? It'll also make you go weak in the knees because you see the RS457 is styled to follow the same design direction as the bigger RS models from Aprilia, the 660 and the V4. So design has got you covered. Even the engine has got you covered. It's a paddle twin motor. It's powerful, it's punchy, and all of this you get at a price that won't really break your super sport budget. So I think these bases are definitely covered. But you see, we have seen full-fed machines from other manufacturers as well, and there is now a trend where they look fast, they even go fast, but when it comes to the racetrack, they have those sloppy, relaxed, sport tourer ergonomics. Charisma, RR310, Yamaha R3, even the Triumph Daytona 660, damn you Triumph. But does this follow the same direction? Or is it a proper track tool? We are here at the Curry Motor Speedway to find out just that. I mean, you saw the way it's attacking corners, right? This is a bike that's made in India. This is rolling on tires that are made in India, meaning you can buy them cheap, meaning that you can come to a track like this, shred them to your heart's content, and still you'll not need to get a personal loan to buy the next set. Believe me, that's a very, very important fact.
A certain Lorenzo Savadori probably heard that and even went around drawing circles and burning rubber.
These are the TVS Eurogrip Pro Torque Extreme, and they're really impressive. We've tried it before on other motorcycles as well, but here it just works so well. Like for example, there is 3 levels of traction control that you can choose from, or you could completely turn it off.
The traction control doesn't seem too intrusive, at least on the track, but we would like to see how it behaves on our dusty roads and in the wet,
even with the electronics off.
So if you do buy this bike as your first super sport, consider investing in a good track riding training program to make the most of this machine.
Compared to some of its rivals that use a cheaper tubular terrace frame, the Aprilia uses an aluminium perimeter frame, and that's one of the biggest highlight of how it's able to handle around the corners. Then you have this tank that looks large, but under braking or while cornering, it provides excellent grip. And there is enough room even for taller riders to move around to get that proper body posture. So overall, all of this comes together quite nicely to make this an excellent cornering tool.
Once you master the braking aspect, which we'll come to in a bit, you can effortlessly carve a precise line through the corner. The nosedive remains subtle, yet under aggressive braking, the bike may exhibit a slight tendency to squirm. Despite the bike's track prowess, the suspension falls short in adjustability, limited to setting only the preload for both the front and the rear. In a sense, navigating swiftly on this motorcycle is a breeze, but there is a notable room for enhancement in the braking department.
The engine works its magic even around a tight circuit like the Curry. You can be in 3rd and 4th gears all through these corners and still get an excellent drive out of it, and that's all down to the torquey nature of the paddle twin motor. The punch of the engine lies in the mid-range, of course, and it's all really evident after 70 kilometers an hour, and it continues to pull strongly all the way up to 160 kilometers an hour. At least that's the top speed that we saw here on the start-finish straight of the Curry before braking for the new C1, for the new layout of the Curry Motor Speedway. But this was in 5th gear. You should be able to easily ride past 170 in 6th gear. The engine definitely shows that promise, and this is before you start playing around with the engine, maybe modifying the gearing and all those kind of things. So the overall performance, both in the mid-range and in the top end, is really very strong.
While appearing compact, the bike defies its size, striking a balance that offers a touch of that big bike feel without sacrificing agility in cornering. The thoughtfully concealed exhaust pipes evoke a reminiscent charm of the original RC390. Though certain plastics might lack a premium touch, I hope they resist buzzing or rattling over time, and the ergonomically positioned controls enhance the overall experience. The RS truly distinguishes itself with a standout design, capable of attracting buyers solely on its aesthetic merits.
The chassis is aluminium, but the swing arm isn't. That is made in stainless steel, which means it is heavier, which means that the rear monoshock is going to have to do a lot more work. But nothing to complain about, at least in terms of the ride and the handling.
Opting for stainless steel in the swing arm construction was a cost-effective choice, much like the brakes or certain plastics. However, it does contribute to added weight in the overall build.
I'm 5'8" and getting both my feet flat on the ground is not a problem at all. So seat height is covered. Now, in terms of the absolute weight, yes, if you look at the spec sheet, it isn't the lightest motorcycle around, but honestly, you don't really feel the weight in your wrists or in your knees, etc. Maneuvering this bike is absolutely easy, even in tight spaces, or even if you were to just move it on its wheels like the way I'm doing right now. Shouldn't be a problem. So tight parking spots, taking U-turns, riding in congested city environments shouldn't be a worry at all.
It has the best power-to-weight ratio in the class though, and it shows on the track. It makes for a decent sport tourer too, but the pillion isn't going to be comfortable with that aggressive seating posture. Aprilias typically embody a compact size yet outpace their peers in speed. Currently, if I were in the market for this category, this Aprilia would be on the top of my list. However, it's worth noting that servicing and the maintenance costs might lean towards the pricier side compared to the Japanese or Austrian alternatives.
So, RS457 is a very good blend of style, power and handling. And though it is pretty focused of a seasoned, committed rider, but at the end of the day, it is not merely targeted at the seasoned, targeted at the new rider. And from that perspective, I think it's priced quite well. I think it has enough performance. Impressed with the motorcycle on my time on the track. Now what remains to be seen is how good or bad is it out on the road. That is closer to the deliveries which begin in March 2024.
Through our various social media platforms, you can also write to us on our YouTube channel. We'll see you next week. Until then, drive and ride safe.